The needle is dragging on the floor of the empty and the red, and the voices of the static are the only thing inside of my head. I'm looking for a harbor in a desert of stone and of sand, in the middle of a God-forsaken and lonesome built land. Then I see a neon flicker, a sign that is starting to fail, a rusty built oasis at the end of a weary built trail. The pumps are like soldiers standing guard in the middle of the night, beneath the pale blue buzzing of a flickering and a dying down light. And the window is covered in a century of dust, and the handles of the door are a mosaic of the sorrow and the rust. I see a man in the corner with a hat pulled low on his brow, the prisoner of a then, in the middle of a desperate now. He fills up the tank with a liquid of amber and flame, and asks me for the syllables of my long-forgotten name. The air smells of grease and of a high octane and a spiritual hope, in a place where the travelers are at the end of their road. Fuel fade, final stop. One more mile before the curtains and the needles finally drop. Fuel fade, final stop. A drop of liquid mercy from the mountaintop shop. I paid him with a coin that was minted in a different age, and watched him write my name on a yellowed and a tattered down page. He said the road ahead is longer than the road you left behind, the secrets that the map makers were never intended to find. I started up the motor, I felt the vibration return, feeling the fire of the adrenaline and the gasoline burn. The station disappeared as I exited the gravel-built drive, leaving me the only thing that's actually and truly alive. There are places on the map the ink can't define, waiting for the seeker to cross over the silver line between the world of the logic and the world of the spark, in the middle of the never-ending Saturday night dark. One more mile before the curtains and the needles finally drop. Fuel fade, final stop. A drop of liquid mercy from the mountaintop shop. high-speed crash with eyes made of ember and a body made of charcoal and ash. They say he only appears when the moon is a sliver of white and you're driving too fast in the middle of a winter-born night. You see a single headlight in the mirror's jagged edge glare and feel the sudden scent of the sulfur in the chilly night air. He doesn't want your money and he doesn't want your soul. He just wants to see if you've got a fragment of control. He pulls up beside you on a bike that is made out of the dark, with a frame that is glowing with a spiritual and a blue colored spark. He'll look at you once with a face that is hollow and thin before it starts the rhythm of the high octane and a deadly sin. It's a race to the sun, it's a race to the edge of the world, with the flags of the phantoms finally and perfectly unfurled. You can't outrun a shadow and you can't outrun the flame, especially when the driver doesn't even have a human given name. Oh, flash fire, phantom speed, the only kind of medicine that a sinner's gonna need. Flash fire, phantom speed, a demon of the asphalt with a desperate Bill Green. Needles are buried in the red as the canyon goes by, like a bullet of silver beneath the velvet and the indigo sky. I can feel his heat, hey, melting the paint on my door. A challenge from a rider who isn't even living anymore. But then at the bridge where the river starts to bend and to flow, he vanishes into the places where the lonely rivers grow, leaving only a tire track made of a glowing red heat and the sound of a heartbeat on a desolate and a mountainside street. Was it a vision or a trick of the weary-built mind? The kind of a secret that the drifters are destined to find. When the road gets too lonely and the night gets too deep, and the promises of the highway are the only ones you keep. Oh, flash fire, phantom speed, the only kind of medicine that a sinner's gonna need. Flash fire, phantom speed, a demon of the asphalt with a desperate Bill Green. Oh. pulled into a town where the clock stopped a decade ago. Where the pain is all peeling, the weeds are starting to grow. The main street is a graveyard of dreams and of rusted out signs, written in the dust and the shadows of the long forgotten lines. I see a swing set moving in a wind that is chilling and thin, like a ghost of a child who is waiting for the world to begin. The silence is heavy, a blanket of silver and gray. In a place where the sunlight has decided to forever stay away. Silence, I am never quite alone. Dust, drip, desert bone, the king of the ruins on a silver-plated throne. The old general store, a merchant of nothing who doesn't even exist anymore. But the road is still calling, a ribbon of freedom and black, leading me to the shadows waiting on the things that the residents valued the most. But I'm just a traveler, I'm just a passing by spark. Writing my own history in the soot of the dark. Dust drift, desert born in a city made of silence. I am never quite alone. Dust drift, desert born, the king of the ruins on a silver-plated throne.